So, hey guys, it's Rachel, and today we're just going to talk about Pinterest. Really, we have the Pinterest threads in our group, so, and then some people were asking about it and wanted to maybe find out a little bit more how to use Pinterest and what is the purpose of using Pinterest and how does it benefit you as a blogger. So, whoa. So what I'm going to do first is I did a short blogging session at the American Women's Club. So I have a couple of PowerPoint screens about Pinterest. So I'm just going to pull that up and hopefully it works correctly. Ha ha ha. You never know. That's not right. This one. Okay. 1 second. There we go. Cancel. There we go. Okay, so I'm now screen sharing this PowerPoint. And let's see, present. Ta-da! Okay, so hopefully everyone can see this. It's not super long, but I just wanted to have some kind of like notes or something to look at. Okay, so basically, whoops, of course, it's sharing the wrong screen. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing the Pinterest PowerPoint screen now. So this is why I should use Pinterest. So basically, as a blogger, Pinterest can be very important to driving traffic to your blog. Now, I know not everyone in our group is blogging for like to get page views. So maybe you don't need to use Pinterest for that reason, but if you are looking for, you know, more page views on your blog or more followers, Pinterest is a really good tool for that. It's one of the top ways to drive traffic to your blog, and that's really been one of my biggest referrers of traffic, and a lot of other bloggers I know that's the case for them as well. So it can be, you know, a really good resource to have for your blog. Besides all the things that you're looking at for yourself, if you think about, you know, when you're looking up recipes and craft ideas and decorations for holidays, all those things come from some website, right? So of course, why shouldn't that website be yours, right? You want to throw yourself in that mix. So this, of course, can bring traffic to your blog and then hopefully convert that traffic to more followers for your blog as well. Okay, so we go to the next screen, hopefully. We see that? Yes, okay. Hopefully we can all read this. Okay, so Pinterest is, like I said, one of the top referrers of traffic to my blog, and over 90% of my social media traffic comes from Pinterest alone. 47% of my traffic is from social media, and so 90% of that, 47%, is from just Pinterest, from just one website. So that just kind of gives you more statistically, you know, how it can benefit you. Another blogger I spoke with before I made this PowerPoint, she said that 32% of all her traffic is from Pinterest as well. So if you think about that, you know, that's like 1/3 of all her traffic is coming from this one other site. Pinterest traffic can convert to new followers and build your community. And so the best way to do this, obviously, is to pin all your blog posts and to make your content something that people find worthwhile. Not just pinning your own posts, but also encouraging followers on your Pinterest page by pinning things that you like, content related to your niche and other blog content that you like, so that people begin to follow your Pinterest like, oh, she posted that really cool recipe, I'm going to follow her on Pinterest. And then not only will they see those other recipes you're posting, but they'll also see the content you're posting from your own blog, if that makes sense. So you're not just posting things from your own blog, you're repinning other people's and pinning other bloggers to support each other. And this kind of sets you up as an expert, that you're pinning a lot of relevant content. For example, if you are writing like vegetarian recipes, you're going to pin vegetarian recipes from your own blog that you're writing, of course, but then also repinning other recipes from other vegetarian blogs to have like this, you know, this really like wealth of knowledge that you are showing your followers that you have this expertise. And that would get you more followers on Pinterest, and then hopefully in turn more followers to your blog and more page views to your blog. To set up your Pinterest, and everyone kind of indicated that they had a Pinterest set up, but that they weren't necessarily using it for their blog. So for blogging purposes, I would suggest to have one Pinterest board just for your own blog post, and just name it whatever your blog is. Like mine's Can't Google Everything blog post, or, you know, whatever your blog is called. And then you have like one board that you can pin all your posts to, but also pin those to other relevant boards. So for example, if you're writing about travel, then you would have a travel board, and then pin your post on travel to that board as well. And then of course, seasonal boards. You can rotate your boards. And if you don't know what I'm talking about boards, I'm going to show what it looks like in just a second. But you can rotate your boards to make the most relevant ones at the top. So for example, it's spring. So at the top, I should have like Easter, you know, spring crafts, outdoor activities, Mother's Day, that kind of thing. And those kind of boards would be at the top of my Pinterest page because they're the most relevant at the time. That way, when people come to your profile, they're seeing the most timely and relevant content first. And then another suggestion is to use SEO for your board names to make sure that your board names are relevant in search. So you're not just putting like my vacation, because no one's searching for my vacation, right? So you want to think about what people are searching for when you name your Pinterest boards, and then as well as your pins, and we'll talk about that too in just a second. Another suggestion is to join group boards, and group boards are great for exposure because it's a lot of different people pinning to that board. So you're automatically sharing, these other people are sharing your content on this group board. And we can actually create a group board for our Facebook group if you guys want, and then pin all each other's posts to there, and that would help out everyone getting more exposure to their blogs as well. Let's see. Okay, my next point, no need to use hashtags. So on Pinterest, you don't need to use hashtags. People still do it, but it's really not necessary because Pinterest uses search engine, like SEO basically. So when you go on Pinterest and you're searching for something, you are using these keywords, and they don't search for hashtags. So when I type in like Easter crafts, I just type in Easter crafts. I don't type in hashtag Easter crafts. So it searches for those keywords automatically in board titles, in pin titles, and in the text that goes under the pin. Vertical images. Vertical images are king on Pinterest, we could say. They just flow better in the way Pinterest looks, and they get more repins and more hits than little square images. So that's something to keep in mind when you're writing your blog post, that you create a vertical image to go with your blog post. And I'll show you some examples of that in a second in this PowerPoint. Okay, optimize with good verbiage. So making sure that you describe your pins with good keywords. Things like, you know, don't just say, here's my pecan pie, but you might want to say, here's my here's my pecan pie recipe, great for dessert, great for, you know, weekend dinner, things like that. So like different keywords. So you can make your Pinterest description under each pin a little more detailed to add some keywords that are things people might search for. And so what you want to think about maybe is, what am I searching for? When I go on Pinterest and I'm looking for a recipe for dinner, and I'm thinking, what kind of recipe do I want? What am I searching for? So those keywords that I would use, those are the kind of things you want to put in your descriptions as well. And pin liberally. You can pin a ton of things. Pinterest used to be in chronological order, but it is no longer in chronological order. So your pins will show up randomly in order in your feed. And Pinterest will also now suggest pins they think you like. So for example, if I go on my Pinterest page and I've been looking at a lot of workout tips, it will start showing me more workout tips in my feed. So the more things you pin that are relevant to your content and to your niche, then the more things you will see like that. And it's kind of like a circle that you'll keep seeing those kinds of things, but also that you can keep sharing those kinds of things for your followers. Okay, so this is an example. This is my Pinterest page, just a screenshot of it. And there we go. Whoa, what's happening? Okay, there we go. So you can see my boards at the top, and this is actually, I made this PowerPoint like a month ago, so it's a little old, but you can see at the top I have, you know, my blog, board for my blog, Easter, a couple Easter boards, and then appetizer recipes. Everything else is in alphabetical order after my initial boards. Okay, so I'm just gonna check in our group real quick to see if anyone wrote any questions before I just keep talking and talking. Okay, I don't see anything. All right, next screen. Okay, creating Pinterest-friendly content. So this is obviously for bloggers specifically. When you're creating your blog post, you want to think about creating Pinterest-friendly content. And Pinterest is very visual, obviously, so you need to have attractive images on your blog post if you want people to pin things from your blog post, or for yourself if you want people to repin your pins. You want them to look nice. So a good photography or an attractive image is very key for this. Pinterest, if it's just words with no pictures, your blog posts, like if you're just writing, and that's fine, of course, if you're just sharing a story or writing poetry and you're not looking for page views necessarily, then you don't need an image. But if you want to have people following you on Pinterest and pinning from your blog, then you have to have some sort of image to go with that blog post. Whether it be just like a picture of scenery with some words on it, or pictures of the recipe you wrote, or whatever. Now, a lot of people say like they write about things that don't really need pictures or wouldn't feel they were relevant. But you can always create some kind of graphic to go with your post. For example, even if you're writing poetry, you could put like a quote from it. Or if you're writing about health issues, then you could have just like a graphic with words saying like 10 tips for dealing with fatigue or whatever. So you can always come up with some sort of graphic to go with your post, whether it be a quote from that post or a picture of like a nice picture of flowers or something with the title of your post or that kind of thing. And then when you're pinning, add a short description with keywords to direct people to your pin when they search. I said that already. I'm not going to repeat what I already said. But you want to think about, again, what people would be searching for. So using the example here, 5 tips for traveling with kids, instead of saying our family trip to the beach. you know, so tips and tricks are really popular, and kind of honing in on what people are looking for. No one's searching for your family trip to the beach. No offense, but people are searching for tips for things, like tips for traveling, or 5 awesome beaches in Italy, or whatever. So think of it kind of that way when you're curating your content. You want to install a pin it button on your blog to make it easy for people to pin your post. And so when you go to a blog and you want to pin something, if they have this installed, you can hover over a picture on their blog and it'll say pin it, and it will come up on the picture. And that's how you know they have this pin it button installed. And if you go on Pinterest, it will tell you how to do this. It will tell you how to install it, and it's quite easy. It's just copy pasting some HTML code onto your blog and saving, and that's it. So it's really easy to do. And then the last tip here is to make sure you're pinning from your blog post URL, from the specific blog post, not from your main blog. Because if I'm clicking on a recipe, I want to go directly to that recipe to read the directions and the ingredients and see the pictures. I don't want to go to your blog's main page and have to search then for this recipe. So you want to make sure when you're pinning that you look up in the HTML and it says, you know, that specific blog post. Okay, my last screen in the PowerPoint here is just an example where I searched for chicken dinner, and you can see all of the top searched posts here have vertical images. Some are huge, and then there's some that are smaller, but they're all vertical. None are square, none are horizontal. And so this is just an example to show you that these are the posts that got the most hits and the most pins and retweets, so that when I'm searching for chicken recipes, these are the first things that are going to come up because they're the most popular. And it's just showing they're all vertical images. Okay. That's it on the PowerPoint. So I'm going to take a look over on our Facebook group again just to see if there's any questions typed up. And if you have any questions, you can just type them in our Facebook group under the, let's see, under the event. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Hello. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. If you do have any questions, please feel free to just type them and tag me. And I have this up on my phone so I can hopefully see quickly any questions that you might have. Okay, so stop sharing. There we go. Ah, hello. Okay, wait, I see a question. Ah, question. Oh, okay. I'll have to click over to there. Give me a second, because I actually closed that screen when I started the workshop. So, Alina, just hold on one second, and I'll click in there. I'm a little annoyed that the questions aren't showing up in the video app, because I turned on the Q&A before the thing started, so it should be in there. Yes, Stacy, we can do that. Okay, we'll do that in a second. Let me open this other thingy up. And sorry if you're watching the recording, there's like, you know, some seconds where I'm looking at other things, but okay. Alina says, is there sorts of great keywords SEO for titles of posts? Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm sure you could search for a lot of information about how to label things SEO friendly. I would just go on Google and search for like SEO tips or SEO friendly blog post titles. You can also think about, I also like to think about it just as in like, what would I search for, right? You know, what would I search for if I was looking for a recipe, a potato recipe, or that kind of thing. And that's always helpful for Pinterest. And I'll try to find some resources on that and put them in the group later. But I know there's a lot of different blog posts about SEO and how to create SEO-friendly titles in your blogs and on your Pinterest. So I'll look for some resources and I'll put them in our group later for you guys. Further, I just lost my train of thought. Let me read your question again because I can't remember. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. The next question Alina had was the difference between Instagram and Pinterest. So Instagram is your own personal pictures. It's instant updates, if you will. You can also put them a later gram, so you could put, they're just your own personal pictures. Pinterest is basically like, well, hence the name, it's like a pin board where you can collect different websites. You can collect all kinds of recipes, crafts, just pretty pictures you like, fashion ideas, travel tips. So you're just creating, collecting all these different links, and then you're putting them into categories called boards. And each of these boards, you can title different things, just like I showed in the PowerPoint, the boards that I use, for example. And then you have like this kind of collection of different things that you like. And you can use this then to promote your blog. So another difference is that Pinterest should be very evergreen. You're putting content that is useful all the time. For example, you know, I might put like a Christmas recipe, which is not useful all the time, but it will be useful again next Christmas, right? So it's evergreen. It's not something that's only for the here and now. Whereas Instagram is like these instant updates where I can post pictures of what I'm doing right at that second or during that day. So it's just a different way to promote your blog and to showcase yourself. I hope that answers your question, Alina. So yeah, so Instagram is just pictures that you post, whereas Pinterest is links. But it's also very visual because with those links, I'm putting pictures or graphics that promote what I'm sharing. Okay. So Stacy asked, tell us more about the descriptions on the pin itself. Can you make a pin? Okay, so yeah, so let's do that towards the end, if that's okay, Stacy. And then, because I have some other screens I was going to share really quick. And then if anyone else has questions, again, just tag me in the Facebook group. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you guys specifically for your blog. So I'm going to share the screen again. And hopefully, here we go. Share screen. There we go. Okay, so, and I'll put this link in the group as well. All right. Now, when you have your Pinterest set up, and everyone said they already had a Pinterest set up for their personal reasons, so sorry, someone just wrote a question and I glanced over at it. So what you want to do on Pinterest after you set up your account is to add your blog to your account and claim it. And you can confirm your blog or your website, it says here, because then you get access, and this is what I wanted to show Elizabeth, you can get access to analytics on Pinterest that show you you know, how many people came to your blog from Pinterest, what pins are the most popular on click-throughs to your blog, and that sort of thing. And I'm going to show you guys that analytics page as well. So I'll share this website with you guys. in our group. So I'll give you guys a direct link, but you confirm your website and it gives you the specific directions here on how to do that. And it's really easy in your account. You just have to take a little bit of coding, put it on your website to confirm that you are the owner of that website, and then it will be confirmed that you own the website, and then you have access to the analytics. So this is an example of the analytics screen. So this is mine. I just pulled this up right now, and you can see it shows my daily impressions, my daily viewers, average monthly views, monthly engagements, and then activity from Can't Google Everything, which is my blog. So if I open that up, I can see impressions to my blog, daily views, and kind of get an idea of what is bringing traffic to my blog from Pinterest. And if I scroll down, I can see my top pins from the last 30 days. So this pin here is always like my top pin of all time, which I think is funny because it's like not my best blog post ever, but something people really liked and really repinned a lot. And then this one's always my second, 5 things to do with your toddler at Downtown Disney. So you could just see, you know, which pins had the best traffic, and you can even see which of your boards with these pins on them had the best traffic. So these aren't necessarily all of my own boards, but these boards have my pins on them that someone repinned, and they're getting a lot of traffic to that pin in these specific boards. Okay, so this is my account, and you can see it's loading a little slow. There we go. Okay, so you can see, you don't have to put, you can share, you know, whatever information you want. So I put my city, my blog link, and a link to my Facebook and a link to my Twitter. And then I put a little description so people know what to expect from, you know, what I'm going to be pinning and what I blog about. And then if I want to create a new board, I just can click here, create board. And then I can actually choose, you know, what I want to call the board. If I want it to be in a certain category, I can choose the category. And I can also, you can even make private boards where only you can see what's pinned to them. And I use those for collecting like gift ideas and that kind of thing. This is an example of a group board, and you can see the little, you know, people next to it shows me it's a group board. So if you're in a group board, anyone can pin to it who is part of the group. So that includes like all these people here, 20 plus 20 people, 23 people pinned to this board. And of course you want to pin whatever the board is supposed to be about and follow the directions and everything. But a group board can also be a great way to get content from other bloggers and to pin to your, get more people, sorry, to your blog post and your pins. Okay, so let's hop over to the messages again. So Tara said, Instagram is a window into who you are as a person. Pinterest is seen like Google. People can find your blog content, help answer their questions, and entertain them. Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah, so Tara had a good description, like an Instagram. This is going back to the Instagram. What is the difference of Instagram and Pinterest? So just showing us that Instagram can be, you know, more who I am as a person or behind the scenes or that kind of thing. Yeah, so exactly. Okay, Tara has another question. The value of repins, whether someone repins your content or you repin other content onto your boards. Okay, let me think about this. what the value of repins, whether someone repins your content or you repin other content onto your boards. What are the best practices for repinning? I think, okay, so for repins, let me just exit out of this. Blah. Stop. Okay. Ooh, hello, rogue hair. Repins, you can repin as much as you want. I don't think there's any rules or anything. I would say though, for example, in our Facebook group, we have the repin thread. So a best practice there would be to make sure that you are repinning to relevant boards to make sure everyone's content is seen, because when people are searching, they're not searching for like my favorite bloggers. And if you have boards called that, that's fine, of course, because that's for your own personal use. But if you're just, those are kind of like dump boards, right? You don't want to repin your friend's good blog post to a board called My Favorite Blogger, because no one's going to see it. Not as many people follow those boards. Because when people follow you on Pinterest, they can choose to follow all your boards, or they can just select certain ones they want to follow. So they're going to follow the ones that are most relevant. So if you're repinning, I would say like a best practice for repinning is to make sure that you're repinning to relevant boards that are, going with those topics. And then of course the value of it to you is the more people who repin your pins, then more people will see it. So if I have 2,000 followers on Pinterest, when I pin something, only those people will see it. But if you repin it and you also have 2,000 followers, then those people will see it as well, and down the line. So the more repins you have on your own content, then obviously the more people will see it, but also the higher those pins will show up in search. So the more repins and the more likes, the more engagement and the more clicks you have, then the higher your pins will show up in the search when people are searching for things. So it's all kind of related together. So I'm just glancing at my phone for the questions. I hope that answers your question, Stacy. Oh, that wasn't Stacy. Tara, I'm sorry. And of course, we did talk about this a little earlier, I think maybe before you came, Tara, but repinning other people's content also helps you, because it shows people who might want to follow you, it shows them that you're pinning really good content, and they're like, oh, I want to come back and follow this person to see what other really good content they're going to be pinning later. Okay, Stacy says, do you get invited to the group board, or how do I find someone to join? You can request to be invited if you find a group board you're interested in joining. You can request to join, or someone could invite you by email to join. So it's either way. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, so hopefully that's covered kind of the basics. So why Pinterest is important for bloggers, and how to claim your blog. You really want to do that so you can see your analytics, and so you can like have ownership over that. And then creating pinnable content. And so what I like to do is I like to create what we call a pinnable image. And that's just some image, vertical of course, with some text. And a lot of people like to use like a little collage, or a bunch of pictures together with some text over it. So if I just pull up my feed here, hopefully this screen sharing isn't too annoying. Where did we go? There we go. Screen share. Okay, so this is just my live feed of Pinterest right now. So you can see some examples of different kinds of pins. So on the left here, it has a suggested board that I could follow. But then here's a pin, frozen blueberry yogurt bites. So clearly what it is. Then some nice pictures to go with it. And these are things that people I follow have pinned, or they're promoted to me by Pinterest itself. So then we have another example of just some text. Good moms have these 10 things. Okay, so it's like a cute picture and then text over it, so I know exactly what this article is about, versus this other one, Italian garlic butter, which if I saw that, I might not immediately know what it was, but I can read it in the description here. So to me, like this yogurt bites one is more attractive because it's like vibrant and it has very descriptive words on the picture itself, so I know exactly what I'm looking at. Over here on the left, on the right, is kind of a different example. They didn't use a real picture, they used more of a graphics. So this is what I was talking about before, where you can just go create a graphics with words and maybe a clip art if you want, and then it's still showing me what this post is, but maybe they're not going to put a picture of themselves crying, so they use like a graphic of a woman. Right. Okay, so looking at this blueberries one again. So she has right here, frozen blueberry yogurt bites. That's the title. And then here's the description. And I think this is Stacy. I'm sorry. Stacy was asking you about this? Yeah, Stacy. So here's the description she wrote. The person who pinned this, probably Skinny Mom, because that's where it's from. And she says, frozen yogurt, blueberry yogurt bites. This snack can be your family's new favorite healthy dessert or sweet snack. So she has a lot of keywords in there that's, something people are searching for, maybe healthy dessert, right? Or snacks. So she has snacks in there twice, healthy dessert, or just dessert some people might search for, or blueberries. So there's a lot of different keywords in here that people might search for to bring them to this pin. Let's see. La, la, la. Okay. Okay, so maybe we want to talk about how to pin things. I don't know if everyone knows how to do that, or I'll just do it. I'll just share it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my blog. Okay, so this is my blog, and this is my most recent post. So I'm going to click to open the post because I want to pin directly from my blog post, right? Now, there's two ways I can do this. Okay, so first of all, how much of the screen gets shared? Okay, not the top. So you can only really see my blog here, I guess. Okay, so at the top of my nav bar, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have something installed on my nav bar, which is a pin it button. And this is like an extension you can add onto Google Chrome or Explorer or whatever that allows you to pin from any website. So you can do that. If for example, you go to a blog and they don't have the pin it function installed on their blog, you can actually do it directly from this link that you install in your web browser. You can also copy and paste the link from the web browser and do it directly in Pinterest itself. So if my blog has the pin widget installed, and of course this works on Blogger or WordPress or other Pinterest, other blogging sites, you can put these pin button on there by confirming your website like we talked about. So you see when I hover over this image, it has this little button that comes up that says pin it. So I just click there, and then I'm going to make this bigger so everyone can see it. There we go. And then I would choose, which of my boards I want to add this pin to. And I changed the description, so I would take out Sometimes it auto-populates a description, and sometimes you might want to tweak it to go with what you want. So it's the post title, and I can add other things. I can type other things here. Okay, and then I would choose which board I want to add this to. So I'm going to add this to, for example, maybe I want to add this to my blog board, Can't Google Everything. So then I just click pin it, and it will add it to that board, and that's it. Ta-da! Okay, so that's how we can pin from a website. You can also, like I said, copy the link, go in your Pinterest, press this little plus here, pin from a website, upload from computer, create ad. I've never created an ad. I don't want to pay for things on Pinterest, so I've never done that. If you do, let me know how it goes. You can also upload directly from your computer, upload a picture, and then add the link in later. So that's another way to do it, but it's more time consuming. It's easier to just go on your blog, click pin it, and pick the board you want it to go to. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot more things we could talk about, but those are kind of the basics, and I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. Let's see. Alina also asked, how do we join a group board? If you go on Pinterest, you can search for boards. So for example, if you write a lot about like travel, you can search, just click travel in the search, and it shows you boards, pins, and people, and you can choose the boards. And if you're interested, maybe you see, who owns that board, and you can email them or send them a request to join. Just make sure that you read like what their rules are, because sometimes these group boards have like rules, like you can only pin XYZ content, you can only pin so many times a day or whatever. So just make sure you read whatever their expectations are for the group board. And yeah, so let's see. I think I covered everything that I meant to cover, and I hopefully answered everyone's questions. If you're wondering how I make my images with the words, I use something called PicMonkey. It is a free service. You just go picmonkey.com, and you can create collages. You can edit your pictures on there. You can add a watermark. You can add text. And if you pay, it's $30-something US a year, you can get the like upgraded version, which has better fonts and better extra editing tools and stuff like that. I don't have Adobe Photoshop or anything. I just use PicMonkey. It's really easy to use, and it's it's free. You can upgrade it, but it's also free. So it's, to me, easy to use. There's other ones people use, Canva. I'm sure there's other services you guys could suggest as well. So I think that's about it. So just to summarize, if you're wanting to use Pinterest to promote your blog, make sure your blog posts have pinnable images in them, attractive graphics or images. Make sure your images are your own. Don't steal other people's pictures and put them in your blog post. That's not cool, and you can actually get in a lot of trouble. So don't do that. Let's see. I know I keep looking away. It's kind of awkward, like staring at yourself on the camera. So sorry, I keep looking off to the side. Yeah. So pin away, pin all your blog posts, and promote those pins in our group. When we have like every Tuesday, we're doing the Pinterest link up. So link your pins, and everyone will repin yours, and you repin everyone else's, and then you'll get more hits on your blog, hopefully. I mean, obviously not overnight, but the more things you pin, the more followers you'll start to get on your Pinterest, and then you'll start to see those numbers go up. And I'll let you in on another little secret is that, and you probably noticed this on my analytics, but most bloggers, and this is true of a lot of other bloggers that I've spoken with, there's like a couple of posts that bring them most traffic to their blogs. So once you hit like this like really awesome post that a lot of people like, it's like your top post for months and months and keeps getting the most hits. You'll see that in your analytics. And I haven't done this yet, but you really should, is to go in that post and add other things to it to keep people around, like subscriber, subscriber links and links to other blog posts and things like that to make that blog post better. Like, hey, I see you came here from Pinterest. If you're here from Pinterest, make sure you follow me, things like that. So after a couple of months, you'll start to see which of your blog posts are the most popular and bringing you the most traffic from Pinterest. And then you can go in and edit them, kind of add like a little extra something special to keep those people around. Because people coming from Pinterest hit your blog, they might not stick around, but if you ask them, hey, subscribe, or hey, follow me on Facebook, my Facebook page, then you'll see an increase in numbers on those things as well. Okay, so we just had another question, which is talk about the watermark. So a watermark is basically, just putting your name of your blog or your own name if you want. Some people who are photographers might put their own name, like if you are a wedding photographer or whatever. And it's just putting that brand, your blog brand, on your pictures so people know it's your picture. It doesn't really prevent people necessarily from stealing your picture, because oftentimes they can be cropped out unless you like put it like right across the middle. But it's always good to do to just help promote your brand and to give a little extra security to your pictures, because although people could still use your picture, I suppose, they'll be less inclined to if there's a watermark on it. And a watermark, you can make it just like bright white, or, if you look at my blog, you'll see like the watermarks I put like my blog URL in the little corner. And that way it kind of just shows like ownership of this picture, that I took this picture and it's originally from this blog and that kind of thing. Okay. All right, so I think that's it, and hopefully that answered some of the questions. And if we want to have like another Q&A session or whatever, we can do that in the Facebook group and just like type questions up. And if anyone needs more specific help, like how to set their Pinterest up, or like how to create the pins, I'd be happy to do that, if you want to set up a meeting another time or over the phone or whatever. And I'm talking specifically to people in our group, not anyone on the web who's watching this, who might happen to be watching this later, which probably won't be very many people. But if you're in our group, Bloggers in Switzerland group, and you have like extra questions, just feel free to ask. Or if I didn't cover something that you are interested in, please let me know. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast now. And if you have any more things you want to talk about, I'll be around on Facebook. If you just put the questions up in our event in the Facebook group, then we can chat there. All right. Have a great day, everybody.